All right, let's get started. So everybody, my name's Luke. I'm the COO of Kwil, and today we'll be talking about how Web3 and blockchain-enabled platforms can mitigate platform risk while also guaranteeing data security, data privacy, and data compliance. But first, what is platform risk? Platform risk is when Twitter shuts down the Firehose API, or when PayPal deplatforms anti-war journalists, or when banks randomly close customer accounts. And over time, we begin to see the same stories over and over again. Centralized platforms abusing the rights of their users, and at some point we have to say, enough. So platform risk, simply put, is the risk a user faces that a platform's services may drastically and unpredictably change at any point in time. And it doesn't just exist with technology or applications. Platform risk exists in a central banking system where the citizens of a country have platform risk towards the central bank. They have to trust that the central bank will not randomly and unpredictably devalue the currency. But of course, we know that this tends to happen. So an antidote to this is Bitcoin, an open, incredibly neutral platform that resolves the power imbalance between the money supplier and the money consumer. Another example that I'm sure most people here are familiar with is the Apple Daily newspaper. Although Apple Daily didn't have an incentive to act poorly towards its readers, the readers still had platform risk on Apple Daily. If Apple Daily shuts down, the readers no longer have access to the stories. And of course, this is exactly what the Chinese government wanted to happen when they came and forced the closure of Apple Daily. But the solution to this was publishing these stories on an open, permanent, and decentralized file storage system that we all know as Arweave. And so over the last couple of years, a number of different platforms and protocols have emerged that help mitigate certain types of platform risk. Ethereum helps mitigate financial platform risk. Arweave, among other things, helps mitigate publishing platform risk. But as new verticals within Web3 emerge, particularly in decentralized identity, decentralized social media, and decentralized science, there's a growing tension between mitigating platform risk and guaranteeing data privacy, and in some cases, data compliance. Let's take identity, for example. There are a number of different legal regimes and different jurisdictions that place very stringent requirements around identity data. GDPR, for example, requires that you know the geographic location of the data storage. And so it's very hard to reconcile these requirements with completely open and completely permissionless systems. If a node operator can spin up a node and join the network, how can you know exactly where the identity data is being stored? And so we can begin to think about both Web 2 and Web 3 platforms on a two-dimensional spectrum. One dimension is the degree to which platform risk is mitigated. So on the low side, these are completely open and decentralized systems, and then on the right side, these are closed and centralized systems. The other dimension is the degree to which privacy and compliance is enabled, and this also runs low to high. And we can begin to plot both Web 2 and Web 3 companies along the spectrum. On the low end, you have something like Bitcoin, an open, incredibly neutral platform which over a fairly strong history has proved to mitigate most, if not all, of its platform risk. On the high end of this, you have something like Telegram, which I know today is in 5 data centers. I know it used to only be 1. It's largely funded by one billionaire. If that one billionaire decides that Telegram should no longer exist, all the users of Telegram are subject to that platform risk. And so with these companies plotted along the spectrum, we can see two trends emerge. One is what we call the decentralization line. This is the limit that Web 2 companies can reach but not cross when it comes to mitigating their platform risk. To cross the decentralization line, you have to have a cryptographic guarantee that your platform risk has been eliminated. And in order to do that, they would actually have to begin decentralizing some of their stack, and we would probably put them in the Web 3 bucket. The second trend we can begin to see is what we call the Web 3 limit. This is the trade-off the Web 3 platforms have to make when choosing between eliminating their platform risk and enabling data privacy. The more nodes you add to the network, the harder it is to guarantee data privacy and data compliance. Now, the difference between the decentralization line and the Web 3 limit is the decentralization line is static. No Web 2 company can cross it without becoming a Web 3 company. But the Web 3 limit is dynamic, and as new projects and protocols emerge in Web 3, a lot of which I believe are being developed right here in the Arweave ecosystem, we can begin to see this curve bow outwards. And this is where we see Kwil being useful. Kwil is useful for moving projects into what we call the Kwil wedge. These are projects that either want to decrease their platform risk or increase their data privacy. Federated networks on Kwil are just a proof of authority blockchain that uses a SQL database storage layer. And this can be configured based on the project's requirements. For example, an identity platform that has a lot of data security and data privacy requirements may choose to be somewhere up higher and to the right within this wedge. But another platform, maybe a SocialFi platform, for example, may choose to be a little bit lower and to the left on this wedge. And so the point is federated networks on Kwil can be seen as a dial that can be turned up or down depending on your product and its requirements. Now, why should we care about mitigating platform risk? Failing to mitigate platform risk hurts adoption of Web3 and crypto. When the BlockFis, when the FTXs, when the Terra Lunas happen, it hurts the public perception of our industry. It sets us back. And every logo that you see on the slide is a representation of a failure to mitigate platform risk, or a promise that that platform risk was mitigated, and then a failure to deliver. And if crypto and Web3 are going to cross Jeffrey Moore's chasm and gain widespread adoption, we need to have the cryptographic guarantee that platform risk has been eliminated and the digital rights of our users are guaranteed. So what can you do? As a user, you can demand that the platforms you use are guaranteeing your digital rights. We like to say, if you build it, they will come, but actually the opposite is true. If you demand it, they will build it. And so demand that the platforms you use are mitigating its platform risk. As an investor, you can choose to invest in projects that are mitigating their platform risk or helping other projects do so, projects that are moving up and to the left on our spectrum. And as a builder, you can choose to adopt tools and services that help you mitigate your platform risk, a lot of which are being built right here in the Arweave ecosystem. So if you're a builder and you're looking to adopt a new tool, today is a great place to find that tool. But no matter what your role is, you can have a part in helping mitigate platform risk, guarantee the digital rights of our users, and help bring crypto and Web3 into the mainstream. So thank you all for your time, and after the talk, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.